Yo, 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 yo. What's up? And welcome to a new episode of Talkin Game. Yeah, it's your boy, Tony Lewis. Some know me as King. Some know me as Yellow Tape King. Some know me as LT. Some know me as Anthony. Some just know me as Tony, especially now that I'm getting older. But this is where we at now. Depends on where you met me and what I was doing in life. But right now, we just talking sports, baby. And, sorry. I know I said I wasn't going to make it a weekly or a daily or have any kind of structure to how I would do it, but sorry for taking almost 2 weeks off. I'm definitely not going to make that a habit. Had some quality time with the fiance last weekend, and it kind of threw me off, man. Working literally right up until vacation. But hey, such is life, right? DC was cool. Philly, woo, the ghetto. But nah, Philly was cool. I had some decent food there. I want to start this episode off. Anybody knows me know I was born and I spent, my childhood, part of my childhood in North Carolina, small town, Bessemer City. Very small town. Everybody's basically like family. And let's just say we lost a brother in the last week and a half. Brandon Thomas, a.k.a. Tufo. Yeah, man, good guy. That's all I can say. Nobody has a bad thing to say about him. It's Sunday, we're airing this now, and his funeral's today. So just prayers up for his family. Prayers up for my cousin Marcus. That was his best friend. You know what I'm saying? That was his guy. So whenever you hear me say, hey, me and my cousin, it's one or two, and the one that's mostly is Marcus. And that's who I'm shouting this episode out to him and the strength, man. You know how that go. All right, so now we can talk a little sports. Probably not gonna be a long podcast. Like I said, I've been slacking. I gotta get back on my game, man, with my notes. But we gotta talk baseball right now. Triple Crown watch. Aaron Judge is literally on the cusp of it, seeing as he's batting for average, and that's not the headline, right? He still is on pace to break Roger Maris 61, which is the American League record, which is pretty cool because you know how the American League and the National League splits off. So he really can have the American League record outright. And it's not even like when you're in the National League and you're like, well, he has the record, but remember Bonds, remember McGuire, remember Sosa, and it's still that tainted these people are over them even though they took steroids. So I don't think he's going to get it at home. I've been watching the last 3 games against the Red Sox, and it got to be tough coming up to the plate with all that pressure, right? I mean, he seems like a calm, cool, collected guy, but after a while, it has to start weighing on you. And I just think on the road it'd be a little less pressure, and he can make it happen. He hasn't really expanded, out of the zone too much, which is impressive because I'd be swinging at everything trying to get to this record. But he's still taking his walks. He's not really getting intentional walks, but they're definitely not just pitching straight to him, man. Let's just call a spade, right? We'll see. But let's talk Triple Crown real quick because I went to looking through like certain things in the Triple Crown. First of all, it's only been 3 since 1956. Okay, so that just shows you that was when it was probably like 8 teams, and it was a short list of players that can win the Triple Crown. So that gives you some kind of idea of the difficulty of winning such a, I guess you do get an award for this, right? Winning such an award. It is, Miggy was the last one, 2012. So that would be exactly 10 years later. Go figure, right? Shout out to Miggy. I think he's coming back for one more year. Only downside to this Triple Crown, if there ever was a downside to this Triple Crown, well, first, if he doesn't win it, it would be because a damn Red Sox got him. With Xander Bogaerts, they're like 2 points apart. So all it takes is a bad week for Judge, a great week for Bogaerts, and everything changes. Or a good week for Judge, a bad week for Bogaerts, and he blows them out the water because there's such few games left. So we'll see what goes on with that. But this would be the lowest average of a Triple Crown winner. I'm sorry, the second lowest. As of right now, when I wrote my notes, he was 317. He had a couple strikeouts yesterday, so I think he dropped to 315, so that would make it the lowest average of a Triple Crown winner. But hey, who cares, right? Who cares about being the worst loser? As long, as long as you're winning. And it's different now. Pitchers are. It was a time where you see 100 and you're like, oh my God, he's lighting up the radar gun. Every team, let's say 30 teams, right? They have at least 3 guys that can hit 100. That is 90 pitchers, right? That's a big difference between seeing Nolan Ryan mowing people down at 95. You have people who are hitting 101, 102, 103 on the gun. So, that kind of, you got to weigh that kind of stuff in when you start thinking about batting averages and stuff. Players back in the day, they didn't have to deal with the shift. I was talking to somebody at my son's Little League game, and I was like, man, I would like to see Tony Gwynn deal with the shift. I mean, I'm pretty sure he could because he just was that kind of hitter, but, I mean, you can really shoot the gaps. You don't have a shortstop playing in right shallow field just waiting on the ball to come because he knows you're going to shoot that gap, right? But, hey, that's your job as a professional hitter. Figure out how to put it where they ain't, right? He will have the most home runs. Well, he already has the most home runs of any Triple Crown winner if he was to win the Triple Crown. The most at the time was 52, held by Mickey Mantle. He had 60. We got like 15 games left. So he can really blow this thing out the water, and we know how baseball works. If he has like he goes on a crazy tear and gives you like 4 to 5 home runs in a week, it gets interesting for Barry Bonds, right? It's like, it's probably out of reach, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, he's starting to get the protection back with Rizzo being back. Glaber is hitting well. Stanton, just being who he is, you have to respect his power because if he connects, it's literally a line drive over the wall, right? He's not going to hit no towering bombs, but it's going to rocket out of the field. So who knows, man? I'm really interested to see where he ends up. I would hate for him to end up at 60, right? That'd just be a terrible slump that I don't think that'll happen, right? We're just waiting, anticipating it so much. So we'll see. I want to move over, though, to another power home run hitter who's had a great career, and I'm glad that is able to end in such a way. Pujols hit 700 home runs. That's just major, man. Only 4 players in the history of baseball. I want you to understand, right, I did my Triple Crown research, and the first Triple Crown was in 1878. So that just lets you know we're talking about 140 years of baseball. And he is one of 4 of something, right? That is amazing. You cannot discount that. You can't discredit that. He is the only player, I guess you could say, in my modern era. I know they say anything, they probably put Hank Aaron in that as well. But I also think about how fields were constructed. I think about how they were shorter outfields and those kind of things. So, he's the best first baseman of our generation, and it ain't close. Like, I can't even think of anybody close to Pujols. And first Latin player to hit 700. I mean, there's only 4, right? 2 of them are African American. Babe Ruth. Some people in the history debate if he's African American, but Caucasian male. And then you got Albert Pujols, the lone Latino there. And I'm sure Barry Bonds is the only living member, but I'm sure he welcomes you to the club with open arms. 700 home runs. It's tough to do. You see, A-Rod got to 696, and that was it. He called it quits. He didn't even, I would have came back for a year contract, and as soon as I hit those 4 home runs, but I can't do it no more, guys. I can't do it. He was lifetime 300 hitter, Albert Pujols, up until recently, those Dodger years, them last couple years with the Angels. Whew. So now he's under 300. I think he's like 297. Tomato. We know where he's walking in as soon as he's available on the ballot, and that's Cooperstown. 18-21 home run seasons. Amazing. All right, his first and his last year, he was able to do so. Only him and Ted Williams were able to do that. And I honestly feel like the universal DH came in at perfect timing because, him being a National League player, well, he was an American League player, but once he kind of lost his stock in Los Angeles with the Angels, where do you put him, right? He's not going to be an everyday first baseman anymore. So you look around, and he was able to go back to the Dodgers because they implemented the universal DH. And, hey, sometimes we just need that bat because we know that if you connect, you still have the power to drive one over the wall, right? You go back to the Cardinals, which makes this even better that you were able to do this at the team you started with the first 10 years of your career. But you go back to the Cardinals, they have a universal DH, boom. You have a place for you. Now you have 21 home runs in this season. You know what I'm saying? It is interesting, though, because you would think that the home run derby would have worn him out. It seems like the opposite. It seems like the home run derby put him in, locked him in. A lot of hitters normally slump after the All-Star break. He has had a resurgence after the All-Star break. Actually, the Cardinals as a team have. They leapfrogged the Brewers. They're locked in the playoffs. They're that team nobody wants to play against because you got, 2 top 10 players at least, right? And Arenado and Goldschmidt. So that's going to be a fun out for. Hold on, let me see who they got. Let me look up these standings real quick. I didn't know I was going to get into some baseball playoff talk, but here we are, right? Of course, my app is going to take forever to load up. Hold on. I'm getting there, guys. I'm sorry. Standings, wild card standings. And now St. Louis is matched up to play against Philly. Okay. So that changed since last night. Oh, okay. And then we would get Atlanta, San Diego, which is pretty dope. But, yeah, the Cardinals have just been resurgent. It's cool to see the old guys winning. Molina, Wainwright, and Pujols. This is the kind of shit that in baseball you look up and you're like, how did they get in the World Series? And sometimes in sports, it doesn't make sense. Sometimes in sports, you got to throw all that logic and shit out the window, and you just got to let them go play, right? And another fact that just came across is only him and Hank Aaron have 700 home runs and 3,000 hits, which is crazy because I could have, with all the hitting Barry Bonds was doing, not to have 3,000 hits is amazing. So with that being said, I saw that on like a meme or something. I gotta get some confirmation on that guy. So I'm looking that up right now. And yeah, 2,935 hits. Not 1,000 hits. That is crazy. Well, we found it out here. Barry Bonds. Not 3,000 hits. 7-time MVP though. Yeah, home run derby champ. Not 3,000 hits. The only thing that's probably missing from my boy's resume. But anyway, let's look out for the Cardinals in the playoffs, like I say, because that's the kind of stuff it could just be fate. One small thing I want to touch on. It's gonna be a short episode. Like I said, I've been slacking on my notes, but I like to bring up how things does not change in sports, and with that, I want to talk about basketball in particular, right? So I'm watching the Legacy show on the Lakers. And this is a Karl Malone thing. Karl Malone got a lot of Kevin Durant in him, right? I'm watching the Legacy show on Hulu, which is pretty good on the Lakers, and they went into the 2004 season, right? Was it 03-04? And Karl Malone comes on there, Gary Payton comes on there. And this is where it gets fascinating, right? Because all these older heads, such and such would never do this. Such and such wouldn't want to team up with them. They'd want to beat them. That's bullshit. They showed Gary Payton. You know what he said? Yeah, me and Karl Malone, we were talking about playing with each other all off season. Huh. You don't say. Gary Payton. Hey, little bro. It's Shaq calling Gary Payton. Hey, little bro. Come get you one of these. Come get one of these rings with me. Full on goddamn recruiting. And if you remember a prior episode, I forgot which one it was. One of the first ones. Talking about Karl Malone. In the middle of before the All-Star game, getting interviewed by Hannah Storm. Basically telling the Jazz, hey guys, get a better team or trade me. Charles Barkley, all you older guys, Skip Bayless, all you guys, I don't want to hear about, oh man, such and such would never want to do that. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And at the end of the day, I'm not mad at anybody who wants to play with the best possible players they can play with. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to win. You play any sport to win. You do anything you do to win. Right? So, I mean, I'm not really tripping about it. It's just funny to see the hypocrites. And I have a saying when I'm talking sports to a lot of my friends, especially when they're debating LeBron and stuff. And I say, time will heal all. All the blunders you think about LeBron James, trust me, we forget. Oh, how we forget. How was Tragic Johnson? Right? We forget those 9 for fucking 30, not LeBron, those 9 for 30 Jordan games. You know what? Because 30 years later, all you think about is the buzzer beater LeBron hit against the Magic, right? 30 years later, all you think about is Jordan hitting a shot over Brian Russell. 30 years later, all you think about is Magic Johnson hitting a hook shot in the Garden. Goes back to my my TikToks. Let seasons play out. Let time do what time does. That's all I got for you guys today, man. I just wanted to check in. It's been a minute. I've been slacking. I know it. But I'll be back. We got football Sunday. I need to go over things that happened in college football last night. And, I'll probably chill, be taking notes and stuff throughout the day. And then I'll get back with y'all tonight. We'll probably go back to back. I appreciate y'all for listening again. Y'all have a good night.